Have you ever imagined AI just taking over all your SEO work? Like the whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
Well, someone actually tried to do that, and we're going to dive into their story today. They wrote this blog post all about their experiment where they tried to create like a whole SEO dictionary,
Yeah.
using just AI, and then they tried to rank it in Google.
Ambitious.
Super ambitious. So we're going to find out if it worked.
Right.
But I think more importantly, what we're going to find out is what they learned along the way.
Yeah. The lessons.
Yeah, because even if something's a failure, sometimes there are these golden nuggets of
Yeah.
information.
Totally. What I think is really fascinating about this one is they decided to do it in like a totally programmatic, like no-code way.
Oh, wow.
And they chose to do it on a brand new Danish domain, lumi.dk.
So starting from scratch.
From scratch, 0 backlinks. It's like the ultimate SEO challenge, right?
Oh, yeah.
To rank a website with no backlinks.
Yeah, especially a brand new one. Like, I
Yeah.
wonder if AI can actually do that.
Right.
Especially with all the, kind of hoops you got to jump through with Google.
Yeah.
It does make you think. So to make this a pure AI test, they had some pretty strict rules for themselves.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They wanted to see, could they create informative articles that explain SEO terms?
Okay.
Like what they are, how to use them, and why they matter, right?
Yeah.
And they stuck with the no-code approach to keep things simple.
Mm.
Of course, that fresh domain with no authority.
Yeah.
And their keyword research was all about covering all the essential SEO terms you'd expect in a dictionary.
Okay, so like really comprehensive.
Yeah.
All right, so the AI is in the driver's seat now.
It is.
What tools did they pick for this this big experiment? Were they using like super advanced,
Yeah.
cutting edge AI?
It's funny you should ask that because they actually went with Coupa.ai. They used the GPT-4 mini model,
Okay.
and then they also used ChatGPT Plus for API access.
Interesting. So a blend of different tools.
Yeah, and they kept the cost super low, like surprisingly low.
Oh, really?
Around 15 to 20 bucks for 300 articles,
Mm-hmm.
which I think challenges the assumption that, you need the most expensive, like super sophisticated AI to get good results.
Yeah. Sometimes simpler can be better.
Exactly.
But I mean, even with AI,
Yeah.
I'm guessing there were probably still
Oh, there were bumps.
some hiccups along the way.
Absolutely. Even the best AI still needs a little bit of a human touch,
Right.
They had to deal with some formatting issues.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the AI just kept adding these extra headlines that it thought it needed.
Really?
And it kept putting in sections about future trends, which, doesn't really fit in a dictionary format.
That's too much. Yeah.
So they had to manually tweak things here and there. And, being self-aware, they admitted that their prompt writing skills, they're like, maybe they could be better.
Yeah.
They hinted that, maybe if they were better at crafting the prompts, it could have streamlined the process a bit more.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because it's not just about the AI, it's about how you interact with AI and how you kind of guide it to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now they've got the content. They need to get it online.
Yep.
How did they prove this lumi.dk was a totally fresh domain?
Well, they did what any good SEO would do. They went to Google Search Console
Of course.
and they checked the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
Just to make sure there was no history, no sneaky backlinks, nothing like that.
Okay.
And sure enough, on launch day, all the articles got indexed, which is a good sign.
Yeah, at least they're being seen by Google.
Hmm.
So the website is live, it's indexed, it's ready to climb the Google ranks.
Ready to go.
Did they just hit publish and just let the AI magic do its SEO thing? Or
That would be nice.
was there more to it than that?
There was a little bit more to it. They did some post-publication sprucing up,
Oh.
They used Screaming Frog to catch any of those Danglish words, which is like, when the AI gets the English a little bit off,
Yeah.
they had to make sure that all the external links were actually real and accurate.
Oh, so the AI had just made some up.
Well, it had kind of fabricated some.
Oh, wow.
So they had to go back and fix those. And then for the internal linking, they used the internal link juicer plugin.
Okay. So not a completely hands-off approach. They were trying to, give the AI
Give it a fighting chance.
the best shot it could have.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's the big question. Did it actually work?
That is the question. So a month later, the results were in.
Oh.
And it wasn't exactly the SEO success story they were hoping for.
Oh, no.
I mean, they did get a decent amount of impressions. People
Okay.
were seeing the site in the search results,
Mhm.
but the clicks were really low.
Oh, that's not good.
And even the impressions kind of took a nosedive in the second half of the month.
Oh, so it started out okay,
Yeah, it started promising,
but then it just tanked.
pretty much.
Yeah. So what did they, like, what was their conclusion? Did they just say AI content's a total flop?
Not quite.
Yeah.
They were pretty blunt about it. They're like, mediocre AI content. It's not going to rank on Google,
Yeah.
especially on a brand new website.
Right.
But they did ask some really interesting questions, like, what if the content had been amazing?
Okay.
What if it had been on like a really established website that already had authority?
Yeah, that makes me wonder, is it like the AI itself that's the problem? Or is it more about the context of how it's being used?
It's a good question.
Did they like dive into why they think this experiment didn't really meet their expectations?
They did.
Yeah.
And it's more complicated than just saying Google caught the AI.
Oh.
They pointed to Google's helpful content system,
Mm-hmm.
which basically judges how helpful the content actually is.
Right.
And they highlighted some specific areas.
Okay.
And they even marked some visually in their blog posts where they're like, yeah, our AI articles probably fell short here. For example, a dictionary definition might explain what keyword density is, right?
Sure.
But Google wants more depth than that,
Yeah.
more like unique insights
Yeah.
to consider it truly helpful.
It can't just be like, rehashed basic
Exa-
information.
Yeah, Google's raising the bar all the time.
Yeah.
So what other algorithmic factors did they consider? Was it like Google saw the AI's fingerprints all over it?
Yeah, yeah, like it was too obvious or
Yeah.
something.
Well, they did mention Google's spam detection systems.
Okay.
And it's possible that maybe, even unintentionally, something about their setup might have triggered some of those alarms.
Oh,
They
interesting.
even included like screenshots from Google's spam guidelines in the blog post.
Wow.
It's a good reminder that those algorithms are constantly changing.
Oh, yeah.
And what might seem harmless could actually end up in a bit of a gray area.
So even though they weren't trying to like spam Google,
Right.
the way that AI was doing things might have looked suspicious anyway?
Yeah, it's possible.
Hmm.
And then, of course, there's EEAT, which is
Yes. Easy.
experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness.
It's like the holy grail of SEO these days.
Yeah, pretty much. And Google really cares about that, especially for topics like SEO where you're giving advice.
Right.
And they admitted that, yeah, their experiment was lacking in all those areas,
Yeah.
which probably hurt their rankings.
Yeah.
They even suggested checking out Google's search quality evaluator guidelines
Oh, yeah, those things.
Yeah.
Those are intense.
if you want to like really go deep
Yeah.
on EET.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the stamina to read those things.
Well, they're pretty dense,
They're pretty dense.
but they're the blueprint for understanding what Google's looking for.
Yeah.
So, this AI-generated SEO dictionary probably wasn't giving off those "trust me, I'm an expert" vibes.
Right, not so much.
Plus, they were pretty upfront about the website being just like a hobby project,
Yeah.
which, obviously limits its authority. They also pointed out that the website itself had like a lot of issues.
Oh, like what?
Like no contact info, no legal pages, no clear authorship,
Oh,
no Google business profile.
it was missing all those things.
Yeah, a lot of the basic trust signals that Google's looking for.
Yeah, it's not good.
So we can see why this experiment maybe didn't take off, right?
Yeah, totally.
But they did talk about subject term dictionaries in general.
Okay.
Like, is that even a good strategy for businesses?
Yeah. Or are they just setting themselves up for failure?
Well, they actually think that a really high quality dictionary
Okay.
can be a great asset, especially for companies with like technical products or services.
Right.
Think of it like a top of funnel tool
Right.
where it introduces people to your area of expertise.
Okay.
But they did warn that the competition is fierce,
Yeah.
especially in the SEO world.
Yeah, I bet.
They gave some examples, like searches for SEO dictionary, legal dictionary,
Mhm.
accounting dictionary, all in Danish, of course.
Yeah. Right.
And the results were all dominated by like the big players.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But interestingly, they noticed that there wasn't as much competition for accounting dictionaries.
Oh.
So maybe there's an opportunity there.
So it's not impossible.
Right.
You just got to be smart about it.
Exactly.
Pick the right niche and make sure the content is like truly excellent.
Yeah, which is what this experiment
Yeah.
unfortunately didn't quite manage.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
They didn't give up on AI content entirely.
Really?
They still believe it can produce high-quality results.
Okay.
But you need a more refined approach.
All right. So what kind of refinements are we talking about here?
Yeah, what could people actually do to make their AI content better? Well, they talked about prompt chaining.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. Using a series of prompts where, like, each one builds on the last one
Hmm.
to kind of guide the AI to produce better and better output.
Yeah, so you're kind of having this conversation with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I like that.
They also suggested this idea of an AI researcher prompt,
Oh, what's that?
where, you use a prompt to gather all the information you need before you even start writing.
Okay.
You're not just, like, relying on the AI's existing knowledge, which might be limited.
Right. Give it more to work with.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Any other tips for getting, like, the best possible stuff out of AI?
Well, they really emphasize training the AI with your own writing style.
Oh, interesting.
Feed it examples of your work so it can
Right.
learn your tone of voice.
Yeah, make it sound like you.
Yeah, you want the AI to enhance your style,
Yeah.
not like replace it with something generic, right?
Right, exactly.
It's like teaching the AI to be your co-writer, not just a content machine.
Yeah, I like that. So did they have any, like, surprising observations about this whole process?
One thing that they found was that prompting in English actually seemed to give better results than prompting in less common languages.
Mm.
Yeah, probably because, the AI models are trained on just massive amounts of English data.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So something to keep in mind if you're working in, like, a more niche language.
Yeah.
But overall, their biggest takeaway was, don't just rush into mass publishing content from a single prompt.
Right.
You got to take the time to develop a really good AI process, experiment with different approaches, and refine those prompts to get the best possible quality, quality over quantity, always.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice. So this has been a really cool deep dive into AI content. What are your final thoughts?
Well, this experiment might not have, set off any SEO fireworks,
Yeah.
but there's so much to learn from it.
Yeah.
AI content, it's not a magic solution. It's a tool. You got to use it strategically,
Yeah.
thoughtfully. You can't just throw AI content at Google and expect it to rank, especially if it's just like surface level generic stuff.
Yeah. Like they said, mediocre content, whether it's made by a human or an AI, it's probably not going to make a big impact.
Exactly. But it's exciting to see how even experiments that quote unquote fail
Yeah.
can still teach us so much and point us in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we learned about prompt chaining, AI researchers, training the AI with your own style. Like, these are all really valuable things to take away from this. So it's like we have to be the creative directors here,
Right.
guiding the AI, making sure it's working towards our goals.
Exactly. So to our listener, we'll leave you with this. What are you going to experiment with?
Oh, good question.
How are you going to use these lessons to create AI content that goes beyond mediocre and really makes a difference?
What's possible for you?
The possibilities are endless, but it all starts with a smart, strategic approach.
Yeah.